really had that integrity where he was always the good boy, you know. And if he seen anything that wasn't right, he going back telling. All right. But see, this the Most High working the spirits together like that for his purpose to be fulfilled, his will to be fulfilled. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. And well, with the flocks and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem, and a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field, and the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brother. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flock. And the man said, they are departed hence. For I heard them say, let us go to Dothan.
So they're supposed to be in Hebron, tending to the flocks. They done went to Dothan. they done basically abandoned their responsibility. All right, go ahead.
And Joseph went after his brother and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near to them, they conspired against him to slay him.
So they see Joseph coming. They like, oh shit, here this nigga coming, man. Let's kill him. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this nigga, man. I'm tired. Every time we try to dip off and have some fun, this nigga always running, you know, just, you know,
like a part of
just giving y'all the vision, you know, in modern day terminology and eyes. Go ahead, bro.
And it says, and they said one to another, behold, this dreamer coming.
Yeah, they called him a dreamer. Because Joseph was a visionary. He had the power. He had the gift of dreams and visions. You know. All right, go ahead.
Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pits, and we will say, some evil beast have devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dream.
So they setting up the plot to basically get rid of their brother. Go ahead.
And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hand and said, let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Reuben was the oldest. Reuben was the firstborn. All right. And you'll think that the blessings was supposed to go to Reuben. But when you read his Believers in Chronicles, if a brother can look it up, it say that Reuben had slept with his father's wife, one of his wives. That's how come the blessing skipped over Reuben, right? Jacob ended up having favor with Joseph over all his brethren. Go ahead.
And it said, we cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hands upon him, that he may rid him out of their hand, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they that took him cast him into the pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead, with their camels bearing spicery and balms and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said to his brother, what profit it is if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Israelites, and not our hands upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh.
Right.
And his brother were content.
So Joseph come to the conclusion, hey, instead of killing them, let's just sell them to the Ishmaelites, right? But before they got a chance to sell them to the Ishmaelites, all right, the Midianites came and got Joseph up out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites. It's in the next verse. Read verse 28.
Then there passed by the Midianites.
Now y'all know who the Midianites are? The Midianites are one of the sons of Abraham. Midian. Abraham had a son named Midian. So they go back to Abraham. Go ahead.
Merchant men.
Go back to Abraham.
And they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned into the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes.
So they plan backfired on them. Before they got a chance to actually sell them to the Ishmaelites, the Midianites came and got Joseph out of the hole, and they sold him to the Ishmaelites, right? So now they gotta come up with a whole other plan. Like now, what we gonna tell our father about what happened to Joseph? Which they took his coat, right? And they put lamb's blood all over his coat and said that what? The wolves got him. Right? Now we're gonna skip over. We're gonna go to where he came into Egypt, right? The Lord gave Joseph favor in Egypt. He made Joseph go to chapter 39. And start at the top. Now when you read this, when y'all get to chapter 38, the storyline gonna jump. Chapter 38 don't got nothing to do with Joseph. Go ahead.
Genesis 39:1. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, and Egyptian, brought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand.
So Potiphar, one of the officers of Pharaoh, was where Joseph was placed to work, right? And he saw that everything that Joseph was doing was prospering, because Joseph was a man of the Lord, right? Which we just read that. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand.
So Joseph Joseph was brought low, and then when Joseph was sold off, see, they thought it was gonna be for Joseph's undoing, or his, to destroy him.
Like his downfall.
But Joseph had such integrity, and he had a righteous spirit of the Lord on him. So when the other nations saw him, which going back to where he told Abraham was going to be of his seed, that his seed was going to be what? A blessing to the nations. You see what I'm saying? When we read that earlier. So this is the Lord's will being manifested in the house of Pharaoh, all right, in Egypt. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian house for Joseph's sake.
For Joseph's sake, all right? So what they tell you about the nation of Israel, wherever we go, whichever nation that we serving under, that nation is blessed, all right? So what's the most blessed nation on the face of the earth today? Spiritual Egypt. See how history repeats itself? See, he brought us into the land of Egypt, all right? And then when we came into the land of Egypt, we built Egypt up and made Egypt great. And then when it was time for us to come out of Egypt, he tore Egypt down. All right? That's the spirit in this place today. All right?
The same thing gonna happen to this.
The same thing gonna happen to this Egypt, because this is spiritual Egypt. Brother, so I'll give Revelations 11 and 8.
This is book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
See the dead body?
Dead.
See, that's 2/3 of our people. Dead bodies. All right? Because there's a body there, but there's no spirit there. There's no mind there. There's no understanding there. There's no wisdom there. Dry bones. What you just see. See how the spirit made him walk off before we read that? Go ahead.
It says, where also our Lord was crucified.
Right, but that was the point. All right? That great city is talking about America. This is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. All right? Which there's a lot of code names for America. Chiefly, the daughter of Babylon. Babylon the Great. All right? You had Nineveh, Assyria, all these old ancient kingdoms bottled up into one. All right?
They say AKA, also known as.
Now, every kingdom that we was held captive under became the greatest kingdom in its time until it was time for them to fall. All right?
All the empires. All the ancient empires.
They got what's called the 7 wonders of the world. Them being like the pyramids, the upside down gardens, and I can't remember the others.
Northern Lights. Northern Lights up in Alaska, that's one of them. It's funny because they just added one too. Over there in Brazil, the big ass statue of Cesare Borgia. They deemed it the 8th wonder of the world.
Most of them, or the wonders of the world, is like structures that have been built and that they have no idea how they built it with the technology of that time. Well,
I think the Grand Canyon one of them too. I believe the Grand Canyon one of them too.
But no, it's just that Jake, man, we're in captivity in Egypt. We're the ones that built those.
Yep.
You know, in
Mexico.
In Babylon, we're the ones that built the upside down garden hanging from the cliffs.
Yep.
Jake engineered that.
Form of all things.
From Issachar, Jake really, man. I think they say Issachar was good with the times and the stars and stuff. I want me to keep going this up.
Yeah. Done.
This Genesis 39 and 4. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer of his house. And all that he had, he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field.
Right. So every nation on the earth outside of Israel that has been blessed for Israel's sake. Just like Joseph. Egypt was blessed for Joseph's sake. Okay? Not only really was it blessed for Joseph's sake, Joseph became the savior of his people, of his brethren. All right? Now, it's going to go to where Joseph is going to be brought low again. The Most High going to test Joseph's faith. He's going to throw him into prison, right? And Joseph's going to be completely innocent. All right? But then he's going to bring Joseph back up again. Let's go to 41. Let's see where to start. 41 Yeah, somewhere up in. I'm trying to see if we need to start up a little bit.
Let's start at 37. Start 37.
Right. You can start at 37. Now, I'm going to give y'all a briefing. Like I said, because I ain't going to go through all of this. You hadn't read. This, now, where we at in this chapter is right before Joseph comes up with a plan for Egypt to survive the famine that he had a vision of, all right? The Pharaoh had a dream, and that's how Joseph was brought up out of his hole, out of his lower state, because he was able to interpret Pharaoh's dream, all right, about the ears of the corn, and then the kine, which is cows, the cattle, all right, where the thin kind devoured the healthy kind, and the thin corns of stalk ate up the healthy corns of stalk. There was a vision of famine. So this is after Joseph has explained the dream, and he came up with a solution on how to survive the famine, for Egypt to outlast the famine. This is Genesis, what, 40, 41, and 37. Go ahead, bro.
Genesis 41:37. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is a man in whom the Spirit of the Most High is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as the Most High has showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art.
Get Deuteronomy 4 and start at 1. Read verse 1, Baba Prashad Sahab. Read verse 1 and then jump to verse 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you.
I jumped to verse 5.
Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Right. So this is before. Now Joseph is keeping these things before it's actually ever written. See, Joseph already had, basically he had the understanding in him of doing right. You know, he had that righteous spirit in him, man. Right? Because really the laws were already there. They were just they was understood, you know. They were orally given. That's right. They were understood from the beginning in Genesis, all right? But then you had us go off, and then you had certain men that were upright like Abel, and you had certain men that were wicked like Cain. All right? Joseph had an upright spirit like Abel, right? Go ahead.
Keep reading. All right, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Now, what did they just say? What did he just say about Joseph? That he was wise. What? Read that part again about him. How he say how wise Joseph is.
He said, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Right.
So that's talking about Israel as a whole, man. All right. So the wisdom. So the wisdom of Israel, all right, supersedes all the nations of the earth, man. And whenever Israel is in the nation, their wisdom is seen, that light is seen, and the nations latch on to it. So Pharaoh was latching on, it's like, hey, giving them their praise. This is a wise man, all right? And there's none like him. Finish verse 7, I think.
All right. Verse 7. For what nation is there so great? Or selected. I gotta keep reading. It said, I'll just start at 6 again. Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Keep therefore and do them, For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
So it's because Joseph understood the laws of the Most High. That's why he was so wise.